So we had a couple of technical issues yesterday, okay, and hopefully they are fixed today. Um, I don't see any glitches right now, and again, I'm still like out of town, okay, so don't worry about that. I know I'm having terrible hair issues here. I'm telling you, the New York weather, I don't know what to do uh, with this hair today or even tomorrow. But let's try to get through with this. So you guys know I'm using a different software, and I deleted what I had yesterday. I saw my grandson kind of creep behind me, but don't worry about that, okay? So what we want to do today is just kind of go over those conventions that we were going over. I just need to make sure that you guys are going over them. I will not show them to you here. I'm hoping that you guys actually do have your book. I know you do. Uh, but what we want to do is just kind of make sure that you're going over those conventions. And this is actually a 9 o'clock class. I started early because I want to try to give you guys a little bit more. And no, we can't seem to get the hair together, but we're going to take care of that later. So today, I am in the ICD-10 book. I know you guys have your book, but I want you to be precarious about those conventions and what we were looking at the other day. Okay, so I'm just going to move over to the conventions so that I can see the conventions, but we're still on. Okay, so we were working on section one, which you guys are still working on. And the conventions are quick because we have already been working on them. Okay, the coding general guidelines, I want you guys to stay on those. In the first portion of your ICD-10 book, it it's just going to show you what the conventions are, the alphabetic index, tabular list. We did this already, so I'm just going to just run through this real quick. Um, the borderline diagnosis syndromes, and it's literally just giving you a page down of what it is. And the reason why I want you to make sure that you look at that several times is because this is how you're going to be able to find your diagnosis very quickly. Okay, in the C section, which is when we start talking about the series, which is also part of, chapter one. And it's again, it's still giving you identification of the coding. So when you finish that, we're going to go through C, because you remember I said don't start on C, we're going to do C together. So I'm going down to the detail portion of those sections, okay? And then we'll go back to C, section 3, 4, and 5. Section 4, okay? And then it jumps to appendix 1. So the other day we were going through format and structure, the alphabetic index. You have to read this so that you can clearly understand the guidelines of how to do diagnosis coding, okay? Use of codes for reporting purposes. We talked about that yesterday. I think we got into about 5 minutes of yesterday. Uh, the placeholders. Know what the placeholders are. Okay. Uh, the ICD-10-CM utilizes a placeholder character X. The X is used as a placeholder at certain codes to allow for further expansion. When they say further expansion of the code, further issues, okay, further diseases or further injuries. The doctor wants to go more into detail to say what's wrong with the patient, okay. And a lot of times that seventh digit helps when you have to appeal something and you have to put in your medical necessity. Sometimes it avoids that. They look at the code and they're explaining what else is wrong with the patient. The seventh character must always be the seventh character in the data field. They're talking about the boxes. If a code that required a seventh character is not 6 characters, a placeholder X must be used to fill in the empty space. The more you read this, the more you get to understand how these codes are done and why we're using these certain codes. And that's why we have to go through the guidelines. So you guys just see I'm spending a lot of time on the guidelines because I have to make sure that you guys are good with the guidelines. Now, those of you who are in the Sapphire Academy, you guys go ahead and look at that website on the side. Those of you who are in the Sapphire Academy, we're going to start doing the Zoom in the Sapphire Academy. You will see archived videos in the Sapphire Academy. There's some in there now, but I only leave the videos in there. I don't know if my glasses is crapped or what. There's some in there now, but I don't know if they're still in there because after 6 months, I take them out and then we start them again. It looks like my glasses are crooked. I don't know. I must have sat on them. So it's very crucial for you guys to look at the guidelines. And it's not only just looking at the guidelines. You have to make sure that you understand the guidelines. And this is, I don't know if I can pull this up. Y'all know I have to have this. It's 8 o'clock. You have to make sure that the guidelines is understood. So that's why I told you guys to go over the guidelines several times, because sometimes when you start reading stuff, it starts fading away. You know, when you read something from the beginning and you are so interested in it, oh my God, I want to so and so, and then the next 25 to 30 minutes, you just reading it. You're not retaining it. So that's why, read your hour, stop, and kind of come back to it. In this stream that I'm using, I love this stream. The only thing with it is I don't know how to quite use it yet to show you guys and kind of maneuver it, but I love this stream better than the one that I had. I still have that one, but I just want to kind of mess around with this one. And I know I got, y'all know I get thrown off. Back to ICD-10. In your first section, okay, like I said, in the ICD-10, it's going to show you what you're going to be encountering in the ICD-10 book. It gives you a brief description, and then it gives you a full detailed description of those brief descriptions that you just looked at. And that's what I want you to focus on. Don't do section C yet, because those are the series that we're going to look at. And it's going to give you insight. You guys remember when we looked at language of medicine, and it goes through different sections of the body, different systems of the body. The ICD-10 book is derived the same way. Okay, so I gotta look at that. I'm not sure what's going on with the glasses and why they look so crooked, but they have to look crooked. I gotta show you guys what I gotta show you. So I have my ICD-10 book. And again, I am in the detail portion of the conventions, okay? And you have to read the conventions. Especially make sure that you are abreast on abbreviations for the NEC. Remember we went over that. The NOS, we went over that. If you have a question about it, make sure you send me a message and we can talk about it. Or you can always search engine it online. If you already work at a hospital, your AI software for coding should give you more of an explanation if you get lost. This is for YTU. For Sapphire Academy, I'm expecting you guys to get to me if you guys have any questions. So again, the conventions are going to explain to you what the punctuations are used for. Okay, the brackets, remember I told you about the square brackets. Brackets are used in the tabular list to enclose synonyms. Alternative index to identify manifestation codes. Manifestation codes as in codes that are extended. Codes that are extended, codes that are more describing a disease. Okay, so you're going to read up on the brackets, okay, the parentheses, the colons, and definitely make sure you decipher acute and chronic. We talked about that the other day, acute and chronic, to assure that you know which one to put first. Remember we went over that the other day, so I'm not going to go over that today. Just want to kind of put you in the right place with that. So, when we talk about the conventions, we're talking about add-ons and additions that we need in order to pick the correct code. So I'm up to number 9, other and unspecified codes. So if you guys have your books, I'm on page 5. Okay, you may have a different page number. Other, make sure that you get that down. And see, that's going to be a kind of doozy between other and unspecified codes. So you want to choose a different code, or you're putting a code that is unspecified, as in the doctor hasn't given you a specific diagnosis. Unspecified codes titled unspecified are for use when the information in the medical record is insufficient to assign a more specific code. Okay, for those categories for which an unspecified code is not provided, the other specified code may represent both or other and unspecified. And look down here. I want you to make sure that you take heed to this right here. Well, I know I can't show you, but it's in your book. So I'm up to unspecified code section, C section. Okay, I, period, B, period, 1-8. Use of signs, symptom, and unspecified codes. So on the CPC exam, you're going to have a question that says, where is use of signs, symptoms, unspecified codes? And you're going to go to these guidelines and find section 1, B.18, section 1.B.18, decimal period, whatever you want to call it. So this is what I'm trying to get you to decipher in this section, in this chat right now. How to look in these guidelines and find what you need to find. So if it says section 1, right? If they're giving you multiple choice, okay, and one of the answers is this, okay, you know you're going to choose this, but I'm going to show you how to find it. So your section 1 is where we are right now. So they're going to ask you, how do you find this, or where is it? Section 1, ICD-10-CM official guidelines, is their first section, right? That's the first section. And then skip over A. A says conventions for the ICD-10-CM. B, general coding guidelines, right? And then they said 18. So now you're going to scroll down to 18. And that's how you find your code. Okay? That's how you find where that section is. And on your AAPC exam, they're going to give you multiple choice questions. But this is why I have to make sure that my students know the guidelines. The coding comes natural. The coding will come easy. You see the experts, the experts are quick. They can get them really quickly. This is a beginner coding class. So in my class, I make sure that you guys who are beginners are aware of every little thing that we kind of found out, okay? The guidelines I can't even stress how important the guidelines are. Some of you who are going to archive this, make sure you take notes and use your index cards. You can go to my website and then go to the bookstore. I have all kinds of stuff in there that you guys can use as far as you guys retaining your information. So again, I just want to kind of throw in that I'm using a new system. I'm using a new stream, and I'm still trying to figure out how actually to work this screen. They told me that it would be better for you. It's a little bit more difficult than the one I normally use, but they're telling me that this is better. So we went ahead and we got this one. I'm not even sure how to work it. So yesterday, you guys have to forgive me for yesterday because I still didn't know how to work it and I couldn't get the pages on. So y'all look at this chat, all right? The basis of this chat is to make sure that you've got those conventions down. Now, you can't see my book, but you guys understand what I'm saying. You guys are supposed to have your book open. So, in the alphabetic index, when we actually get to it, it's going to start with all of the series. But because I need to make sure you're good with these, I have to give you more time with these conventions. Okay, I mean, you can imagine what we're talking about. I hope you guys got your book. In the general coding guidelines section, okay, I'm not in the detailed section, I'm just in the description. This is what it's going to show you. That's why I just don't feel like a student loan is in order to teach you how to do billing and coding. We as instructors are to put you in the correct place. You're the one who's going to do the work. If you come to my classroom when I'm up on the board, I'm not going to hold your hand and make you sit there because you got a student loan. If you walk out that classroom, you're walking out the classroom. So, I'm going to let you go ahead and walk out the classroom. So that's why I'm saying, like, even if you're online and you're doing work online with an online class, we are still not going to hold your hand. We are hoping that you sit there and learn, what we are teaching, but we can't make you, sit there. That's why I like the online learning, because you can archive anytime you want. When I used to throw students out my class, it's not because they didn't want to sit there. Some students would come to your class, just disrupt your class because they just want special attention. And I just throw them out. Okay, you gotta go. All right. I don't care how much student loan you just put in for. You're about to get out of here. But you guys who are online, you can archive anytime you want to. And some of you who are in, different time zones and stuff, I'm fully aware of what time it is where you're at, because you are able to archive. So sometimes I talk in present tense. Did you get to look at the archive or something like that? I know what time it is where you're at. I just need to know if you've got a chance to look at your content. So when you do, join the class, I have to see, where you're at, because I have to monitor. If it takes some students longer than others, then I have to tweak something, or I need to know, because I need to know where you're stuck at, or I need to know if you're at work and you don't have enough time. So we need to maybe extend, or I need to kind of tweak your program a little bit. Again, let's get back to the ICD-10. So the symbols and the conventions are the most important thing that you're going to learn at the beginning of your coding class. Make sure that you steadfast on multiple coding for a single condition. Okay? Acute and chronic conditions. Combination code. I say sequela all the time. Make sure that you understand what sequela is. Okay? Impending or threatening condition. Okay, that's in your guidelines. B, I, B. Okay, I, B, where is it? 11. I, period, B, period, 11. So you see how we found that? On your AAPC, that's the way they want to put it. So, just don't be afraid of it. I have students that just, go take the test just to see what's on it. Don't be afraid of it. Okay. Now, in the Sapphire class, we're going to go over this more in detail. We're kind of setting up Zoom to do the Sapphire class, and we also can go live in Teams, y'all. We can go live also there as well. So we're kind of working on how we're going to do that. I know it's Sunday morning, and I wanted to get this in before church. Some of you go to church at 9. I don't go till like 9:40, 10 o'clock, so we should have enough time to do this. Syndromes, I, period, B, period, 15. Okay. Documentation of compliance care, 16. 17, borderline diagnosis. These are the things that you are going to learn how to code. The ICD-10 book is also going to tell you what they are. Okay, 19, I, period, B, 19. Coding for healthcare encounters in hurricane aftermath. That's going to be an external, okay? Use of external cause of morbidity code. Morbidity as in how did they die, morbidity as in death, morbidity as in this patient is near death, this patient may be in a hospice, maybe that was the cause. What was the morbidity cause of the death? Okay, I don't know why I'm whispering. Other external causes of morbidity codes, issues, and the use of Z codes. Do you guys know what the Z codes are? I'm still in the guidelines, okay? So you guys should be still in the guidelines. So the Z codes are more medical code, more medicine, okay? I'm just dropping that here. Okay. The medicine section is pretty large, but in your guidelines, make sure that you go over that. Okay. Make sure that you go over that. Now, you guys know how I tell you to study. Have your ICD-10 book and your step-by-step book, okay, with you, because it's crucial. Okay, so we're down at the end. I'm not going to go to chapter specific. Um, I want you guys to go ahead and open your step-by-step book because we did not get a chance to go in that the other day. So you guys see, I'm just kind of putting open your step-by-step book. Your step-by-step book is also going to help you. We're still in symbols and conventions. We have not finished with symbols and conventions until I feel like I've given you enough. Okay, so like I said, remember, I'm gonna leave that one open as well. I'm gonna go ahead and open up another page. Until you feel comfortable with the guidelines, okay, don't stop looking at them until you feel comfortable. So you guys can see, how I gave you, how AAPC may ask you a question regarding the guidelines, and then there may be other, questions that also regard the guideline. Now, it's going to be a lot easier for you to code knowing the guidelines. Okay, so I'm in the step-by-step book. The reimbursement section you guys don't have to do. I combined that with the billing. Okay, so you guys do not have to do that. And the Unit 2, ICD-10-CM is where you should be. Okay, that's where you should be. And right now I'm looking at the outline. So this is what we are learning right now. Okay, an overview of ICD-10-CM. The overview is what we just did, that overview, and then when you come down you see stuff more in detail. Okay, then we're going to ICD-10-CM, outpatient coding and reporting guidelines. That's in there. You remember we looked at that? Do the I, period B, might be 11 or 12. Then it's using ICD-10-CM. Then you remember I said don't do C. Chapter specific guidelines, ICD-10-CM, chapters 1 through 10. Chapter specific guidelines, ICD-10-CM, chapters 11 through 14. Okay, chapter specific guidelines, ICD-10-CM, chapters 15 to 22. So let me give you a word from the wise. You see how the chapter specific guidelines are from 1 to 22. In your language of medicine, you remember we just went over the language of medicine book, medical terminology. Okay, 22 sections. So that's kind of giving you a clue right there that it's 22 sections. Okay, so you see how it is combined together. Those of you who have your step-by-step book. If you don't have your step-by-step book, go to Kindle and hit that link up there, and it should give you those first few sections up there. Okay. Okay. So I didn't put it up. I know I'm gonna put it up right now for you. All right. So this one is the ICD-10 book. And again, this is like a temporary type of thing for you guys. You can hit it right over there in the chat. You can hit it from over there. So this one, I don't know if I can push this over the way I used to do the other one, which I'm probably still going to use the other one after if this doesn't do everything that I want it to do, no, we're going back to the other one. Of course we are. And it's really, I have things that I need to show you on here, but I gotta figure it out. It's just the visual. I don't know what the visual camera is on this yet, but we're gonna figure it out. So in your step-by-step book, which is fine because you guys have your book. You don't need to see everything that I'm looking at because we're all looking at the same thing. Okay, so that's what we're going to be doing. So there's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. There's 7 actual units in the outline portion. Okay, and in this book, no unit 1, no unit 1, y'all. So this is the objectives that we just did the same thing as far as the objectives. After completing this chapter, this is in the step-by-step book. Okay, you should be able to explain the development of the ICD-10-CM. You remember we went over that in the introduction. We went over that in the introduction, the beginning of the ICD-10 book. Review the format of the ICD-10-CM. Identify the characteristics of the alphabetic index. Identify the characteristics of the tabular list. Understand conventions and other official instructional notation. Okay, that is what we are going over. Okay, we generally actually finished it. It's just giving us a rundown in the step-by-step book. Okay, so just make sure you also go over the step-by-step book as well, because the step-by-step book is going to be very, very detailed into showing you more explicit terms than the ICD-10 book itself. The step-by-step book is the teaching material for how to use the ICD-10. Okay, so in this section, just make sure you read everything that you've read in your ICD-10, and everything is here. The use and results of coding and widespread evidence is in our everyday lives. Of course it is. I mean, that's how we know how many people have, AIDS, how many people, have this type of cancer, because of the codes. And some people are not clear on, well, what is codes? Or what is, the type of codes that we do is very important, same as the type of codes that, IT people do, or, people doing stuff from Mars or whatever, coding, they do. Our coding is statistical coding as it relates to humanity. It's statistical coding as it relates to your community, your country. Everybody codes. So you might see, typically you hear people say, code, this is medical billing coding. What? Medical billing coding is worldwide. Everybody uses the same coding. You have some that say ICD-10. Remember the ICD-10 Australia? Everybody uses coding. This is how we keep up with those type of things. This is how we know how many deaths were in, I'm not going to say that, how many deaths were in Mars. Okay? We don't want to pinpoint anybody's country because we don't really know what's going on. But codes are very, very important. Okay? So, again, yours class was actually at 9 o'clock, and I know some of y'all are still asleep or y'all having tea time, because this is actually my tea time. I'm out of town. I'm visiting my daughter, and I'm working at the same time. And though my grandson pops up whenever he pops up, I have to shut it down because he loves his grandma, so he's at both the labs. But when he sleep, that's when I have to do your chats unless I'm on the street. I'm going to Manhattan today, and we're going to do a little seminar in Manhattan, and I'll take him with me. Then maybe he can understand he has to calm down. But thank you guys for allowing me to come back because I had to shut it down yesterday. But yes, my daughter lives in New York City. Not New York, she lives in this city in Manhattan, so my God. Y'all can imagine, I'm country. I don't like the city at all. But I have to come, I have to visit my daughter. She visited me for 2 weeks, so I had to do the vice versa. So, step by step, guys, I know that this book is yay thick, but we have to use this book. Go to my bookstore, click on the courses and get the book. Okay, everything you need for your classes in my bookstore. I also, I haven't put it in, but I did get a shipment yesterday. I got I got the labeler things. So I got that. I haven't added it to the store yet, but I did order those. So we've got those already. Um, and we're gonna go ahead and put them in the store. And I'm not there, but they will. You order it, they're gonna go ahead and send it out to you. Okay. So okay, so let's go back. We're gonna try to do this till 9, and I'm gonna try to stay on as long as I can. Um, well, this one will be till 9, and then I'll go ahead and do the other one at 9. There's another one that's coming on. I'm gonna tell you guys about the bookstore. Okay, but here I'm in the step by step, and make sure you do all of the exercises in the step by step. The I-10 was originally issued in 1993 by, that was what we did in the introduction. So those are questions as it relates to what you read in the introduction. Okay, and next they have questions on the ICD-10. ICD-10 alphabetic indices and tablets are used in outpatient settings to substantiate the reason for receiving medical services. Okay, they're going to give you a little bit of PCS, medical necessity by assigning diagnosis codes. ICD-10 PCS is used for coding surgical, therapeutic, and diagnostic procedures. I'm only reading fast because you have this already. And again, it's just giving you what the PCS is as far as surgical procedures in the hospital, okay? I want you guys to also, also read that as well. Now, if you want to go over that, you can. There are ICD-10 books that also have the PCS in it. Okay, so that's up to you if you want to get that one. But your primary book for your coding will be your ICD-10. Okay, so in the bookstore we have the AAPC, and I think we have the AMA. Okay, so there are 4 groups whose function it is to deal with in depth. Okay, so yeah, so a HICFA, HCFA, okay, Healthcare Financing Administration, AHIMA, Health American Management Association, okay, American Hospital Association, AHA, Center for Medicare and Medicaid Services. Yes, we already went over these. So what we went over in the guidelines, now you're literally doing your exercises in regards to that. Now, the Sapphire students, you guys have exercises already in there that you're to do. So if you do the first chapter of your step-by-step, then you should be doing your step-by-step test that I put in the Sapphire Academy for you, in addition to what's in the step-by-step book. So, Sapphire students, you have tests for each one of these sections that you will be doing. Okay, so you do a chapter, you have a test. My YTU students, you are to do the exercises that are here, and you are also to do the exercises in the workbook. Okay, so you guys can't see what I'm doing, but we should be on the same page. I'm on 29 in the step-by-step book. The alphabetic index consists of 4 sections. Index to diseases and injury, which we read. Remember, we're just going over what we did in the first portion of the guidelines. Table of neoplasms, table of drugs and chemicals, external causes of injuries and indexes. Yes, you are going to go over all of that. And then you can see in your step-by-step book, it is the same. It's the same type of format. You're just combining the ICD-10 with the step-by-step so that you can see the codes that they're giving you. When we get into section C, you will see more of the coding, you will see more of the combination. And section C is getting you to go through each page of your book. I'm kind of stalling a little bit to make sure you guys do have your book. Okay. You also can go on that the Kindle and get your book. Okay. So yes, that's what we're going to do. Okay, let me see. So I don't know what this is. It says stop streaming, and then it says in broadcast. We're not stopping streaming, but it's asking me, what I want to do. I'm not up on this high powered type of stuff, and that's what this is. This is for but we'll get it. It's the reason that I like it specifically is because it gives me this starting screen, and I also am able to do scenes for you. As far as, like, let's say this chat, we are still in chat. I'm going to drop the scene up when I'm on my way to the next scene. And only because this made me a two-part chat. Um, and we can end the chat or I can kind of extend it. And what I like with this is when you end one chat, when I end this chat, I can actually start a new chat within this chat and have a different title. Oh my God. And that's one of the reasons why I like this. So, um, the first one, did you guys see the banner on the first one? So this is like my test one right here. This I have to see how I'm going to do it. Okay. So again, we are in the step-by-step book. The only thing that I just don't know how to do it, but I'm pretty sure there's a way where I can show you stuff on this screen. There is a way, I just don't know how to do it. I'm supposed to be like in a little thing down there, and then I'm able to show you stuff, but I'm in the process of learning that right now. And you see, everything is a learning process. Everything, I go to classes to learn this stuff. So, and that's just me telling you, when you want to learn something, you have to figure it out, and you have somebody have to teach you how to do it. Okay? So, here we are. We're still in the guidelines, but we're now in the step-by-step book. And the step-by-step book is just duplicating what the ICD-10 is telling you. It's just giving you more detail. There is one table located within the index of diseases and injuries. This table is used to better list the subterms under the main term entry of neoplasms. And yes, when we get to looking at those neoplasms, you will see the main term and the subterm. Now, here it's just giving you a little bit of taste of what you're getting ready to learn. In the bold type, in the guidelines, we read about what the bold type is, right? When you get to the step-by-step book, I'm on page 29. All the step-by-step books are the same. I'm on page 29. You see your main term. Your main term is the disease that you're looking for or the area that is affected. Okay, so if we say your main term is the abdomen, you in your ICD-10 book, remember it's like a dictionary. We're not up to this yet, but I'm just kind of going into it. You look for abdomen. You're going to look for abdomen, which is your main term. That's what you're looking for. Your sub term is what's wrong with the abdomen. Is it what is your condition of the abdomen? So use abdomen. Your subterm can be angina, acute muscle deficiency. Something's wrong. So your subterm is describing your main term. Okay. That's on figures 2 to 3. We're reading the same thing. Basal arteries. They want you to look for this, but we're not doing that. We're not doing that right now. Yeah. See, she's giving you stuff to look for, but I don't want you to look for that stuff right now. I want to make sure that has to really do with C. Once we do C, then it will give you more of an idea of that, which we're getting ready to go into. It's 8:42, but we're getting ready to go into that. Okay, so those guidelines that we were talking about, we should be done with them. The definitions are below, which are a lot more in detail. A lot more in detail. Okay, so hold on. So before we even get to section 2, I just need to make sure we're good with B, A and B. Okay, so now we're gonna head to chapter C. We're gonna head to chapter C. Okay, specific coding guidelines. Okay, now in chapter C, this is where you're going to see your diseases. This is where you're going to see description of your diseases. Okay, what category are these diseases in? So, and this is just a description that I'm looking at right now. So you should be in C, right? Because we just did B, right? B had, borderline diagnosis, use of signs, symptoms, unspecified codes. Yes, absolutely. So C is indicating chapter-specific coding guidelines. So in your ICD-10 book, you're going to have a chapter 1, right? So chapter 1 is going to be titled Certain Infectious and Parasitic Diseases. So if you have a patient or you have a record that has an infectious disease in it, you know already that you're going to look for that code in certain infectious and parasitic diseases, just like you're looking at a dictionary. So so if you have a patient, and this is what's wrong with the patient, okay, so you're not going to go to section uh, you know cardiology. If it's an infectious disease, you're going to go through infectious diseases. If it says see also and additional, as in this is what caused the infectious disease, maybe you are going to cardiology, but not for the main term, for the subterm. You understand? See, the more you go over, the ICD-10, the more you will be able to decipher it. So this new string that I'm using, the only thing that I'm not deciphering right now is I cannot show you what I want to show you, but I'm hoping you got the same book. So we are in chapter C. Okay, so again, you have to understand the guidelines and how this book is derived. Okay, I am in the ICD-10, and we are talking about the guidelines in C. Because remember, we didn't do C. I had y'all do A and B. I wanted to wait for C because then in your step-by-step book, book wants you to look for codes right off the bat. But we can't look for codes until we make sure we decipher what this is. So I'm giving you an idea of how you're going to be looking for these things. So in your ICD-10 book, a patient comes in, he has infectious disease, HIV, whatever. You're going to go to certain infectious and parasitic diseases. The code is range from A00 to B99. Okay, I'm looking at the same thing that's in your book. Okay, U07.1, U09.9. This is what's in chapter 1. So if you have a patient, the doctor gives you his report, you know where you're going to look for it at. Human immunodeficiency virus, HIV infections, is going to be in that section. Infectious agents and the cause of disease classified to other chapters. Infections resistant to antibiotics. Sepsis, blood infection, sepsis, severe sepsis, and septic shock, which all together, infection resistant antibiotics. Once that happens, and this is a part of us knowing medical, knowing surgical. You guys probably heard me say you have to almost be a surgeon to understand the medicine. And some of us 350,000, you guys that were laid off, I say us because I'm a woman too. This would be your perfect field, because you're not only coding, you are deciphering what the surgeon is doing. You have to learn these things just like a surgeon. In the sepsis, you have to know that that is severe. Once the patient succumbs to any type of penicillin antibiotics no longer working, what's going to happen? The infection will take over the body. And the patient, will eventually go to sleep. And this is why you have to have language of medicine with coding. Your language of medicine book, your medical terminology book, go to my bookstore and get that book. That book will give you so much definition. We had so much fun with that book. I know I almost want to do medical terminology again right now, but don't forget it's repetitious. When I finish coding, I'm going right back to that. Okay, now all these classes will be locked. I will be locking all these classes. So I suggest you guys go ahead and get into the Sapphire Academy, because I will be locking these classes. Okay, these classes are in the Sapphire Academy. I'll just be adding more to it. Okay, so methicillin resistance, Staphylococcus aureus, MRSA. Get that down. Methicillin resistance. I'm on page 2. Staphylococcus aureus, MRSA. Get that down. Okay, that sounds like something that's going to be on the test. Okay, Zika virus infection, coronavirus infection. That was new. That's a U code. So they added those U codes in when we got COVID. And you got anybody in the hospital ever hear anything about we had to code COVID? We didn't know what to put in there because we had no code for COVID. So everybody was really putting the other until they finally came up with a code for us to bill, and then we had to go back and rebuild all those charges. Coding is fun, trust me, and I'm definitely telling you guys how important it is to code. Coding for medical profession is just as challenging because we are very important. You must learn how to do the coding. You must learn how to do the coding accurately. But like I said, once you continue to do it, it's going to be repetitious to you. So again, we're in chapter specific guidelines. The chapter specific guidelines. If you get a question on your test that says, where is neoplasms in the guidelines? One, I'm saying one, don't say one. I period C period 2. Do you see? I period C period 2. 2 as in chapter 2, okay? Neoplasms. That's how you guess, that's going to be your answer. Okay, archive this so you can go back over that. Okay, when we get to the more advanced coding, that's when we do CPC. So I did bring I brought most of my stuff with me. So the only thing I didn't bring was the books. I think my CPC book is in the car. Next class we're gonna look at the CPC book, but the next advanced courses to your class is the CPC book. Okay, we do all those tests in there. Okay, just kind of reminding you of that. And I don't know, it's unusually hot in New York. I don't know why. You see, I got on a sweater, right? Yeah, exactly. My sister has a store. She has beautiful clothes. Anybody who's overweight, or I won't say overweight, big girls like me, it's Shanika's, the real Shanika's Curvy Closet. My sister has beautiful clothes. I have to go out there. See, I think I'm gonna go out there and have dinner with her. My sisters live in Connecticut. I know. Look at Tanisha. She said, "Miss Lambert, you know you hate Connecticut." I don't hate Connecticut. I don't know. Leave me alone, y'all. I have my other iPad over here, and I have the Sapphire students down here. But listen, we got to get this coding thing down. Okay. I want y'all to make sure y'all study. Yesterday we had a couple of issues with this, and I think we got it. I just still don't know how to use it. I have to show you guys stuff. It says virtual mode, studio mode. Y'all know Miss Lambert don't know how to do all that, but we're gonna get this in. Erica, if you starting from right here, I want you to make sure you archive this chat. Okay, so you guys can see where I'm at because you guys already have your book. What other book did you guys want me to put up there? I put the ICD-10 book up there for you. That step-by-step book is also in the Kindle. I'm gonna take a look at it. It's also in the Kindle. Yeah, so you guys make sure that you go ahead and get that because in the Kindle, the step-by-step book is also there. So, but the thing about it is, it won't be, you won't get the full, um, you won't get the full information, but you'll get some of it. What I suggest you do is just get the book. Just get the book, and remember, you just get one at a time. Get the book one at a time, or two at a time. Because with the ICD-10 book, you need to have your step-by-step book. Okay, and again, you can go on my website and get that step-by-step book. Okay. So let's kind of get back here, and so we are on chapter-specific coding guidelines. Okay, chapter 2. Now this is what we're going over is a description of what is in the ICD-10 book, the beginning of the ICD-10 book. Okay, we've had several chats as far as the beginning of the ICD-10 book. Okay, so make sure that you get a look at that. This chat was set for 9 o'clock. Okay, we started the chat early um, because I wanted to see how the new software would work. Um, I'm not sure if I'm going to do the second segment with the old stream software. Um, it says, see, it's not as clear as this one. That's why I love this one. And in this one, I can put like a split screen. In this one, I don't have to come out and then come back in. I can literally stay in this one and and then just start another scene. Um, I'm working on it. And the reason why is because I've only got 6 minutes in this class. But in this class, we are already, going over the step-by-step book. But before you start to complete those things in the step-by-step book, I want to make sure you got your guidelines down. So in your step-by-step book, it does give you an overlay. It just doesn't give you as much as the other one. Okay, in the step-by-step book, there's also a workbook in there. Okay, so I just want to get to that. Let's get to the workbook. Let me see what's in that first part of this. Okay, so we're not doing one. Okay, let me do a drop down. Okay, so they have theory and practical in this book as well. So an overview of ICD-10. I answer the following questions about the overview of ICD-10. The CM in ICD-10 stands for what? Clinical modification, true or false? The ICD-10, y'all got to see this, so I might have to, I have to figure out how I got to get y'all to see this, because I need y'all to see this. But if you guys do have your book, you have to have the workbook. I'm talking to YTU and Sapphire right now. ICD-10-CM was designed for classification of patient morbidity and mortality, true or false. You have to have this book. The questions are amazing, okay? And Sapphire, you are to do these exercises and your tests, okay? And your tests that are in there, okay? Identify the format of the chapters in ICD-10-CM. Yes, absolutely. And you see, subcategory, chapter, subclassification, section, category. This is why the ICD-10 is so important, especially the guidelines in the ICD-10, because you can't answer that if you don't do the guidelines in the ICD-10. Now the guidelines are fairly long, but I don't care how long it takes you. You need to start getting familiar with this. Start getting familiar with this, okay? I'm going to make another section. And we're more than likely going to try to continue this so that we can finish. Okay. I'm just looking for what I want to put on there for you guys, because in this section, you won't be able to answer that unless you have what you need, especially as far as a reading. Okay, I kind of like that one. This ain't no AI, but I just like the color of it. Okay, now in this section, like I said, this class was supposed to start at 9 o'clock. I decided to start this class early because we actually missed class yesterday. Okay, I had to miss class yesterday because this is, like I said, this is a new forum that we're doing right here. Okay. And I might can extend it. So right now we're in chapter specific, right? And like I said, the guidelines are pretty long. So it's not like it's something that we're gonna get over like really, really quickly. Alright, so let's bring this down. 2 would be your neoplasms. And remember how it's formatted. Okay? When we did the language of medicine, you guys see how um, those terms and terminology, those sections are sectioned the same way that they are in the ICD-10 book. And those of you who have your CPC, it is the same way that is in your CPC. You see how the CPC is formatted? It's the same thing. And the reason why we have it like that, I don't know how it is. The reason why we have it like that is so that we can um, learn how to code easy. Everything is pretty much formatted the same way. It's going to depend on you. Your coding is going. I'm trying to move this. Your coding. I don't know why this is here. Your coding is going to depend on you. If you put in the time, you will be a coder. You have to put in the time. Okay, this looks good. Alright, so I'm just gonna put this out here just so, because it's already 9 o'clock, so we're going to continue this class. I'm not gonna come out of the class, we're gonna go ahead and continue the class. Hold on now. And that's because it's a fairly long class, and even though this chat was supposed to start at 9 o'clock, I started at 8, and some of you may not be in here. But again, the class is going to still go. And this is why I like this streaming, because I can stream on this for 8 hours. It's amazing. So that's the reason why. Now, I don't know, I wonder if I put this up and you can see it. No. Okay. I'll put this. So the screen may be blank for just a second. Just a second, okay, y'all? Just a second. Y'all know I'm working on stuff with this. The class is over, but I'm going to still be in here. And as you can see, I put it on there, stay tuned, this is a continued class. Okay, so don't go anywhere. But at least you can see why I like this program. Now, I don't know how to work it, but we like it. But stay tuned. I know I did it fast, so don't worry about how to spell. All right. So it looked like I forgot what I do. Forget to pee. All right, so we'll fix that. Okay. And yeah, I think I forgot to pee in there. Don't worry about it. And this is not moved over. Cause you know why I just did it like 5 minutes really quick so I could see. So I did it like 5 minutes. I know I forgot to put the voice back on. But this is a continued class and I'm trying new things. Okay, and this class was supposed to start at 9 o'clock. And we actually started this class at 8. So that's why I'm doing like a continuation. Because you guys didn't get the full class yesterday. So we're kind of still on, and I'm kind of still checking out this new software that we got. Okay, and I mean, it lets you do all kinds of stuff, I'm telling you. So, so that's where we're at. We're trying to get this software right, and y'all know I'm like messing with it while y'all are in here. So we've been on chat since 8 o'clock. And that's one of the reasons why I like the new software, because I can stream with you guys for like 6 or 7 hours, longer than that if I want to. I could not do that straight, on the other one. There's like a limit of 2 hours, 3 hours, or something like that. But where we stopped at right here, and I know I'm not supposed to do it while we're on here. And that the other one I can do all kinds of crap on and you can't see. But when I'm changing scenes and stuff like that, I just wanted to just go ahead and do it. It doesn't matter. The class was over. But we got it right. I think I'm going to change it. And then I'm going to what I'm going to do is put more scenes. And then I'll put active scenes. That way when we're going from one scene to the next scene, you guys know that I'm here. I'm just not in front of the computer. Okay. So, again, we started at 8 o'clock. And we're going to kind of continue. So, we left off. I think I got this up already, so I don't need this right now. We left off at chapter 2, neoplasm. Okay. C00 to D49. Now, I still want you guys to go through each chapter. Those of you who do have your book, go through each chapter. Okay, go through each chapter. Chapter 3 is disease of blood and blood forming organs. Chapter 4, and as I'm going through this, you have your ICD-10 book. You will go through it as well. Okay, you will go through it as well. Chapter 5, mental, behavioral, and neurodevelopmental disorders. That's the F series. So it's F01 to F99. Now, you guys remember when we were talking about smoking and mental illness and stuff like that? And smoking is classified under mental. I'm not going to say mental illness because people who smoke does not mean that they have mental illness. It just means that in the coding industry, it's identified under mental illness. Okay. So, just don't think it's something bad, okay? And I'm talking to y'all too. Don't think it's something bad, okay? So, again, make sure you have your book open. So, chapter 6, disease of nervous system. Okay, chapter 7, disease of the eye and the neck, glaucoma and blindness. Now, don't forget that we are going to go more in depth in the Sapphire class. I will be on a lot longer in the Sapphire class. Depending how this pretty much works out. I like the fact that if you guys have to go on the chat, you can look at it on the YouTube, but the links will be in the Sapphire Academy. Okay, the links will be in the Sapphire Academy, and I can do classes a lot longer. Are you going to do the classes on Miss Lambert a lot longer on YouTube? Yeah. The difference is I will be locking the classes. So this class that is 2 hours will be locked and it goes into the Sapphire Academy. okay, because I'm going into more detail in this. So, uh, let's get back to the coding. So this is us. Those of you who just came in, this is us going through um, ICD-10. So we're in chapter specific. Okay. So 9, disease of the circulatory system. If you guys can remember when we went in the language of medicine book, y'all know I keep bringing it up. In the language of medicine book, we were talking about the same series, same systems, right? I'm just trying to get y'all to see how complicit all these books are in together. Okay, so 8, disease of the ear and mastoid process. Remember we were talking about the mastoid process. That's HC0 through H95. If you guys have your book and you want to just kind of go to that code, you will go to your tabular list. I'm moving ahead. We go to your tabular list and go find H60. Okay. So I guess, if I use this, I guess I'll have to use hard copies as well. We'll see. The next chat, well, if I'm still using this software, I'll have to use a hard copy, because you guys can't see what I'm doing, and you guys know I like to kind of put out there and show y'all what I'm doing. That's the purpose of me getting all ebooks. So I hope that this StreamYard doesn't knock me out. Y'all tell me if y'all like this one better than the other one. Y'all let me know. I haven't fully learned it yet, so Laz is showing me how to do it. So we'll see. He tells me it's better. He tells me it's better. It's better. Lisa, it's better. So when I finish with this class, I'm going into my own class after church. Let me see, 9:45. Okay, we have to conclude this at 9:40. Okay, probably about 1:30 I'll be back in. Okay, so chapter 9, diseases of circulatory system. Hypertension. Okay, coronary artery disease, angina, sequela, cerebrovascular disease. Sequela as in he had an accident last year. This year something else is a problem that is related to that. Okay, acute myocardial infarction. Oh my God. When I first started actually doing the coding many years ago, AMI just did not click. I love how my face is full now. I'm telling you, when I was on, y'all know how I get thrown off. When I was on the Ozempic, I was witchy looking. Okay, anyway. Years ago, when I was just in straight, revenue cycle management. I wasn't coding. I was in revenue cycle management. When the coding manager, she used to be the coding for everything years ago, and we would go over the coding. Lisa, come on, let's go over this. That doggone acute myocardial infarction always got me. Make sure you put that on index cards, okay? Put that on index cards, because I know y'all know I'm up the head again. That's a test question. It's a test question, and you're going to see it a lot in notes. Even whether you're taking your test or you're at a facility, you're going to see a lot of it in notes. Okay. And trust me, those of you who are learning the coding and you're not working, it's going to be a sacrifice. Everything is a sacrifice to do what you want to do. Sometimes you have help. Sometimes you're by yourself and there is no help. So you still can thrive and try to do what you want to do. Take the coding at 100%. Okay? Take the coding at 100%. Don't stop doing it. Okay? Coding is going to involve a lot of study. That's all. When you go to college, we do the best we can to give you what you need, but it's you who got to put the time in. Okay? Chapter 10, disease of the respiratory system. Okay? These J codes. Nothing like the J codes in the HCPCS. We talked about that. J, okay, OO and J99. Okay? J through OO and then J99. chronic obstructive pulmonary disease test. When you say test, I want y'all to put that on the desk card. And asthma, COPD, COPD. You know what? You know, I used to take a pump a long time ago. Not a long time ago, but I still do at some points. When I used to, you know, when you start driving, you put on weight. When I wasn't driving, I walked a lot. And I was driving, then I wasn't driving, and then I was walking. I wasn't walking or busing, and I would get like palpitations. It's like you need to have a pump, you know. So, you know, that is what helped me, you know, when like at the gym and stuff. I can't go unless I have that. Now I can. I mean, before, you know, I was, you know, asthmatic and I still am a little bit. So again, you know, chronic obstructive pulmonary disease, COPD. Make sure you get that down. Okay. Influenza due to certain identified influenza viruses, ventilator associated pneumonia, vaping related to disorders. And yep, sometimes that, you know, affects other people in different ways. Some people can vape and some people not. Okay, now this is other vaping, but I'm just telling you, you know, different scenarios. Okay, that's chapter 10. Okay, and again, these are the chapters that are in your ICD-10. Okay, that's what we're going over. Chapter 11, diseases of the digestive system. Y'all know this is my favorite right here. Forget about it. Not my favorite in that sense. My favorite almost in, you know, especially, you know, diabetes and stuff like that. You know, chapter 14 with the chronic kidney disease and stuff. I didn't know anything about, you know, when something happens in your family, um, you then want to know. You then want to know about it. You want to know why. You want to know how did this occur. I didn't know about high blood pressure and aneurysms and any of that stuff. I pretty much stuck to just doing my work and, you know, steadfasting on, you know, what the providers were expecting of me until I started to dig deeper in some of the services that were done. Because normally you just focusing on the surgery and what the surgery was. And I started focusing on the cause of the surgery, the cause of the hospitalization. I started focusing on what this is, what that is. So that's how I started getting involved in more the medical side of coding. When something happened in the family, you want to know. So that's a good reason to start digging deeper. Okay. So again, that's what we're just going over. Pregnancy and childbirth. Yeah, you know, a lot of people who are pregnant and you want to know what if something happened, what if something's wrong. Go through your ICD-10. I guarantee you find it. Okay, go to your language of medicine. I guarantee you find something more than what you didn't know. Okay, I'm just skipping down. Certain conditions, perinatal period, that's prior to pregnancy, general perinatal rules, observation, bacterial sepsis and newborn, stillbirth. And that's why I can't work in pediatrics. I told y'all it's too much for me. When I was in the OR, you know, we were right next to pediatrics in Long Island Jewish, right there. You know, I'd be crying all day. Okay, congenital malformation, chapter 17. Chapter 18, symptoms, signs, abnormal clinical and laboratory findings. Okay, we already talked about that. Remember we showed y'all how to find that. Aura. Know those aura codes. Use the system codes. Use the system code with definitive diagnosis. Repeated falls, coma, scale, functional, quadruplia. Make sure you guys take heed to that. And 19, we talked about that. Poisoning and certain other consequences of external causes. S codes. The S codes as SOOTAA. Okay. When I say OO, I'm saying OO, as in 0, 0. Okay. So you guys see how fun this is. So my training does not stop here. As soon as we finish with this, I have to go into Sapphire, and this is going to continue over there. Chapter 22 goes to special purposes. Chapter 21 factors influence health statistics with health services. We talked about that a few minutes ago. That's the Z codes. Okay. Not going to section 2 at this time. So stop at section 2. Stop at section 2. Stop at section 2, principal diagnosis. Okay, what we're doing in this section, alright, everything that is in the ICD-10 book, guess what's time consuming? Flicking through each 1,000 pages. Guess what Ms. Lambert wants you to do? I want you to go to each page of your ICD-10 book. I don't care how big it is. I want you to look at your ICD-10 book. Look at your index to diseases. Just look at them. I ain't asked you to do nothing else. Look at them. You want to skip read, skip read. I want you to start getting used to your book. We're not going further to the primary diagnosis. Just stay where the diseases are. Stay where the diseases are. Because I need for you to get used to that. You're going to combine that with your step-by-step book. Okay? In your step-by-step books, your reading book and your exercises. Your exercises go straight to the point. Your step-by-step book is going to still give you an overview of your ICD-10 book we just read. Okay, there's some of you who do not have your book. Okay, I want you to get your book. Go to the bookstore and get your book. Okay. So we got about 5 or 10 more, 2 more minutes. Okay. I don't know what time service starts. I think it's 9:45. Okay, so this is where we're at. I don't want you to move from there. I do not want you to go down to I want you to stay to C. Okay, C. Selection of principal diagnosis. Don't go down there. What you are studying, section 1. Okay. The description. Okay. In pregnancy, disease of genitourinary systems. I've got my book. I'm gonna go outside and get my book because this is going to be continued, but I can't do it till church is over. When church is over, I'm gonna come back in here. After that, I'm gonna still figure out how to work this. I love this new stream. I just don't know how to work it. Okay, so and if you guys got tabs, you know what that book I got outside has tabs in it. I'm gonna show y'all those tabs in it. Even though I've got a link that has tabs in there. Let me put the link there. I remember Myra asked me for that. Okay, hold on, Myra. Myra, you asked me for that tab. No, I got it. Okay, here it is. So Myra asked me for the tab chat. So here's the tab chat, Myra. I also have a book with me that has them in there because I used to use the hard copy books too, and believe it or not, I had some in New York, and I gave them to the Goodwill. I was even thinking, you know what I used to do? I usually mail you all those books. I know, that's what I should have did. Y'all gotta let me know when y'all don't be having books. I give them to the Goodwill because in the Goodwill, they have my program in the Goodwill, and there's a lady in the Goodwill, in Connecticut, and I give her the books in case people come in there looking for books that can't. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, they're old books, of course, they're not new books, but that's what I do to them. That's what I pretty much do with them. So again, stop at section 2, selection of principal diagnosis. Okay, so let me see can we go in depth on those? Let me see if we can go in depth on it. Because you guys are still going through those, make sure you go in depth on those. I just want to see if they got that in detail. They should, because it's repetitious. Yes, they do. So, okay, Tina, I'm down here. I know you can't. I know y'all can't see it because I don't have the other thing, but I'm gonna figure it out. So, chapter-specific coding guidelines. They do have a detailed section in this. And this is the Buck version. I know they got it in the AAPC and AMA, but I'm using this version. It's also in details. So you guys already did the A and the B, right? I just want you, if you're still studying that, still study it, because that's what your test is going to be on. So YTU, I don't have to give you tests. You have tests in your step-by-step book workbook. Okay, so I wish I can do 3 hours. Chapter C, specific coding guidelines. So chapter 1, chapter 2, neoplasms. Chapter 3, disease. Now, the first section is just description, small description, just descriptions of what it is. So if I say chapter 3, diseases of the blood and blood forming organs and certain disorders involving the immune system, D50, D89, okay, go down. That's why they do dialysis, to check out the nasty blood and put in the clean blood. It's repetitious and it's painful. It's like something sucking your blood out. I know y'all know Miss Lambert get carried. If I was in a classroom, y'all know I'd be carried away. I'd be on this for 5 hours. I would not let y'all out the classroom. Y'all know that. I'm talking to my old students. Y'all know I wouldn't even let y'all out. We used to be in the class like 5 or 6 o'clock. We still there, cause y'all know I used to have the after class too. I wouldn't even let my students go home. Y'all know I get carried away. Y'all are gonna pass this. I'm telling you right now. We gonna see this come to life. Okay, so 22 chapters. So if you notice, in my Valerie, when you look at my tests, in the medical terminology, there's 22 tests. Why, Miss Lambert? Look, it's 22 chapters. Nah, doggone it, you can't see it, but it's 22 chapters in the ICD-10. Okay, so again, stop at section 2. Skip over section 2 because we ain't doing principal diagnosis. Then I want you to go all the way down. Skip the conventions because you all did your conventions in detail. If you're not finished with I know I got 5 minutes. If you're not finished with the conventions and details, do them again. So we're scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down, scrolling down. I don't know what it is. C. So we're scrolling down to C. Now, in this section, it is in the same guidelines. In this section, it's giving you detailed, specific guidelines. Okay, so if this is chapter 1, but let me read this part. In addition to general coding guidelines, right? Because remember we did the general coding guidelines. There are guidelines for specific diagnosis and or conditions in their classifications, unless otherwise indicated. These guidelines apply to all healthcare settings. All healthcare settings. So you're using the ICD-10 across the board. Good for you. Good for you. Okay. Please refer to section 2 for guidelines on the selection of principal diagnosis. That's where we stopped at. Remember, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're going to do that next. Okay. So right here, I want you to get specific on the chapter specific. Okay. Chapter specific on the guidelines. First chapter was certain infectious and parasitic diseases, A00 to B99, U07.1, U09.9, human immunovirus. They're just giving you that as examples because, yes, that's in there. Code only confirmed cases. You see how now it's explaining to you how you're going to be coding these things. If it's not confirmed, you cannot code it. So it says code only confirmed cases of HIV infection illness. This is an exception to the hospital inpatient guidelines section 2H. So you see how we're saying section 2 and then H? That's how you have to identify the guidelines. Section 2 and then H. It's explaining to you why you have to use this here. Why is there an exception in the hospital? When it says exception hospital, that's hospital code and you can code it. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we got like 3 minutes, but that's what y'all are studying. Okay. So this chat is going to end at 9:30. Let me see what else is in here that I need to put in here. Okay. So you see how I pretty much explained that to you. That's how I want you to do that. Okay. So, okay, so here's the other chat. This is the chat that we did on the AAPC test. Okay, and what's on it. what to expect on that test. Somebody asked me for that, so I'm putting that up. Okay, so we put that up, so you guys should also have that. So this chat is over. We will continue on, and thank you so much for sticking with me throughout this chat, because this is a new stream and we're trying to get it working, and I love it because it lets me stream longer and I can put other things on here. But I know he told me to have these things ready. I did one while we were on, so you guys will probably see that part. I don't care. I'm not gonna edit. I might edit it. I don't know. I might edit it. But I don't care. Y'all know Miss Lambert. Y'all know I don't care. Listen, if you get this work in, that's all you need to do is get this work in. Make sure y'all ride with me. Make sure y'all archive this chat. Okay. I know, but y'all need to make sure y'all are in the Sapphire Academy. Every time I finish a chat, I put the chat in there. These chats will lock. They're not gonna lock yet, so hold your horses. They're not gonna lock yet. You guys do need to go to Sapphire Academy and get onto those chats, because I'm gonna lock every single one of them that we did, and they're all going into Sapphire Academy. Okay, so you need to go in there. Yeah, not right now, Chair. I got to come out. It's already 9:30, so I'm coming out now. I'm gonna see you next time. I'm gonna go ahead and stop the stream, and I will see you guys then. And I'm thinking I'm stopping the stream and ending the stream. Stream might have still been on. I don't know, but we'll see. I'll see you guys next time.